we will call the May 9th Architecture Review Board meeting to order. Steve, if you could read the rolls, please.
Sounds good. Bob Heimerl.
Here.
Jerry Jones.
Here.
Joe Clark.
Here.
Pam Langen.
Here.
Dick Lindy indicated that he would not be able to attend. Same with Dave Aldag. And then Alderman Savaglio, he moved out of his district, so we're probably going to be missing a person for a while, and they'll probably refer a different alderperson to the board to take his place.
That sounds good. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Alderman Savaglio for his service to the Architecture Review Board, and he will be missed. If we could now move to item 2 and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, any potential conflicts of interest for any of our board members today? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 4, approval from our minutes from April 11th.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Thank you. Brings us to our items for discussion. Number 5 is the proposed refueling station Canopy for the previously approved 26th and Superior project. If that team could come to the podium.
Yeah, and maybe I could just kind of mention why this, go ahead, Lucas, I'm sorry, and Dave.
While you guys come on up and get ready to make introductions, Steve will give us some background.
Sorry about that. Basically what we had done previously is we had looked at the convenience store portion of this because the Canopy wasn't ready at that time. And so I think that was about November. And at that time, the board had requested that the Canopy be brought back to the board, as well as a little bit of a discussion on the sightlines of the mechanicals of the building itself. So these gentlemen are Dave Barasuva Adakiri, the owner, and then Lucas Kalen from Cautious Construction.
Great. Well, since the introductions are made, if you can just give us a brief synopsis of what the Canopy is going to be.
Yeah, so the Canopy will be following just basic BP guidelines as far as design and fascia goes. One change we did make was the helio. We shrunk the helio size to meet city standards as far as square footage, and then not extending above the horizontal plane. And then one recommendation that the city also made when the building was put to the board was to have matching building material used on the columns to wrap. We have that shown as a 2-inch thin brick veneer to match that at the base of the building. And the height we're proposing would be 3 foot to match the base of the building. I know that was up for discussion as well with Steve, so if that's if that has questions, we can answer those if you guys would like. But yeah, any questions?
Great, thank you. I guess 3 foot, the thought was to match the wainscot base on the building.
What's that?
The height of the masonry?
Yeah, the height of the base, it's to match the base on the building, yep. 'Cause so on the building, it's shown a 3-foot wrap all the way around.
We've generally been preferring those on the canopies to go a little higher.
Okay,
I'm wondering if pulling off the height of your dumpster enclosure
okay.
would be an option to go up to that 8 foot. I don't know how anyone else feels about that.
No, I'm good with that.
And then sight lines on the mechanicals. I guess those were included in elevation, but
Right.
hard to tell exactly how those would read.
So there are parapet walls on the building. There would be about 2.5 foot of the mechanicals that's gonna be exposed from sightline. So we showed a screening around the mechanicals to match that of the siding of the building using hardy board with the pre-finished aluminum cap, just to match the building materials on that, shown on that elevation.
Great, thanks, I'd missed that. I think that takes care of that one then. Any other thoughts or concerns from the board?
No, appreciate you guys taking the recommendations to heart, and I move to approve, subject to staff recommendations.
Second?
Any further discussion? I guess I would look to clarify staff recommendations versus the 8-foot height specifically.
With that amendment.
Okay. And our second, was you, Pam?
Yep.
That's acceptable with your second also? So it's with staff recommendations, which is essentially what they've done, meeting our sightline requirements with the covering on the mechanicals, and then raising the masonry to the 8-foot to match the dumpster enclosure. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved. Thank you very much.
I think our project.
They're still here.
These guys are up next too.
Yeah.
Right. Let me pull that one up here. I guess we can skip the introductions again. If you can give us a synopsis of this one, please. This is for the viewing audience. The proposed construction of a new multi-tenant convenience store and service station with a fueling canopy at the northwest corner of 15th and Geely.
So we are proposing a 5,000 square foot mixed-use C-store, cafe, which will serve traditional Indian foods, and UPS store, all of which will be run by the owner. There's going to be a second-story mezzanine that will be used as office space for the owner to operate his office employees. We're proposing a fueling canopy to use like materials, wrapping the columns, just as shown in the 26 and Superior job. We are going to be using the same building materials as shown on 26 and Superior to keep a uniform design for J-Marts going up across the city of Sheboygan going forward. Yeah, that's pretty much a brief overview. If there's questions on that. One thing that did come up in the Plan Commission meeting was the dumpster enclosure was recommended to switch materials to use a brick veneer shown. We have a hardy board panel shown on the plans right now. The board had concerns about maintenance, so that would eliminate that. We're going to be switching that forward, so.
I'm scrolling through multiple sheets here. I guess first thing, thank you for working with the city. I know there was a lot of back and forth on the original design.
Yep.
So thanks for moving that forward. Maybe same thing here, the height of the masonry at the canopy columns.
If we, yeah, we can go to 8 foot as well with that, if that's what the city would like to see.
Just looking to see what the height.
We had shown at 3 foot, because it's the same base around the building. But if we want to keep that a uniform look, that's not a problem.
Just looking to see what other elements, how high the piers, the masonry piers at the corners go.
Those are 10 foot. I don't know if that elevation is shown on there.
The total height of your canopy to the underside is what?
18 and a half, was it?
18.5, yep.
Yeah, it looks as if by standards for the BP stuff, anything over 10 foot something that's too small for me to read would
Yeah.
start to interfere with your
All it is their paint designs. Yeah, you have to just switch paint designs once you get over 10 foot with the canopy wrap, which BP doesn't have a problem with. It just changes something on their end for their branding.
So I guess that would be something for input from the board, what height we would like the masonry on those columns.
Is there any reason we wouldn't go with the 8 feet, like 26th Street?
That would be fine. It doesn't necessarily relate to anything on this building, but I don't know that that's critical here for me.
Yeah, I think it's just closer to what it shows on the building. It's not as high, but
Yeah.
it looks better than 3 feet.
The one question I had here was at the two-story portion of the building, you have the stone corners, but it's only the veneer thickness to the sides. It doesn't wrap. You are wrapping the lower level at the corners. That's one that where we've preferred to see that wrap back. This is just the thin brick.
Yes, yep.
So you wouldn't need additional foundation for that. I wonder if we might be able to get those wrapped back to the window, the same as it is on the detail for the lower level?
Yeah, the reason we left that off shown on the elevations is because we didn't want to be stacking on the roof, because that's flat roof there. That's why it was shown that way.
We're talking here, Joel.
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
the right location. That is, you've got a parapet there,
Yeah, yep.
so you could run it,
We can run it to the
keep
face
it
of the parapet.
above the
Yeah.
roof membrane so you can flash it out
Yep.
decently, but then run that above so it's hidden behind the parapet. That, just my thought. I don't know if anyone else on the board agrees with that, or if you're fine with it just being the thin detail at that front elevation for the two-story portion.
That's facing the property to the
It's facing the parking lot.
parking lot, okay. So, no, I think the wrap is probably more recommended.
And, I'm sorry, what was the dumpster enclosure?
I didn't see that on here.
That was also one that was going to, they mentioned it was gonna be hardy,
Plan commission,
but we had a little
that's
bit of
switched.
discussion and it was switched to the masonry like on
Last time, all right.
26.
Great. And then mechanicals for this one?
Yeah, the mechanicals will be hidden by the parapet. It's a 4-foot parapet wall, so they will not be visible.
Great.
Perfect.
Any other thoughts, questions, or concerns?
Make a motion to approve with the wrap along the front of the building and the 8-foot height on the canopy.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Everyone's clear on the motion? In that case, with no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? That one is approved. Thank you very much. You have another one for us?
Go away.
Thank you very much. I'll catch you later. Item number 7 is the proposed construction of a new entrance addition and exterior remodeling at the Sheboygan E-Free Church at 1710 North 15th. If that team could come to the podium and make introductions and run us through what you're proposing there, please.
Hi, I'm Ann Kuntz with Station 19 Architects, representing the church, and
Daryl Menzer, master plan team from the church.
All right, Steve is pulling up the images, but if you could give us a brief description of what's proposed?
sure, we are proposing the second phase in a 3-phase master plan, and that is to add a new entrance and expand their lobby. So there's about 23,000 square foot of remodel interior, but we'll be putting a new entrance lobby to face Calumet. We'll also be looking at the west entrance where they had put phase 1 of the master plan, which was a new parking lot that was finished in 2019. So we'll be augmenting the entrance over on the west side. You can see the blue siding that'll be going up there. That'll be a Nichiha fiber cement siding. And you can also see the new windows that'll be put in on that side going through to the classrooms to make that more visible. Currently, that's not with no windows at all. So we're looking to make that a little friendlier, and especially to the parking lot that was approved by you all in 2019.
I really had nothing on this one.
No.
Thoughts or
Pretty
questions?
straightforward.
No, it looks very inviting. I think you've done a good job. I'd move to approve, subject to staff recommendations.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Always like to see
See you guys
churches
tomorrow.
moving forward.
Yep,
Thank
you
you.
very much.
And that brings us to item number 8, the proposed exterior remodel of Sheboygan Glass at 3209 South 32nd Street, the former KP Welding Building. If that team could come to the podium and make introductions, even though we know you.
Good afternoon. Steve Pesky, Distinctive Design Studio. And
Mike Koenig with Sheboygan Glass and Glazing. Thank you.
Sheboygan Glass is currently looking into purchasing this current KP welding building and bringing Sheboygan Glass back to Sheboygan itself. So definitely fitting for the location. With that, looking to make some improvements on the existing rundown, mismaintained structure. Starting out with the entranceway, creating a new ADA compliant storefront, an entrance space to the front portion or the southwest portion of the building. With that, incorporating in a glazing wall that wraps around the south and southern side of the building, which does provide that entranceway. Also above that glazing facade, bringing in an eyebrow roof or a little roof line that does cover that entranceway and over the glazing itself. Majority of these updates for that initial front entrance will be done or proposed to be done within the coming year, but then going beyond over the next 3 years to slowly implement other updates as far as overhead doors to be updated, other exterior paint to be updated on the buildings, other openings and glazings, and the overall roof structure to amortize it over the next 3 years is what we're proposing. Also, in regards to just site improvement, new asphalt or updating asphalt as needed, and also ADA parking, striping, and employee parking lot area.
If I got it, just one second. I don't know if everyone's familiar, this is the former KP welding building. So you can see some of the photos that are before you right now in terms of its present look and design with lots of mechanicals that may not, I'm assuming, be used as part of this, and I'm guessing maybe removed as part of anything that's not required. But you can see here that this is going to be a significant upgrade in terms of design and site improvements. So I think the big thing that was mentioned is the phasing component to it. And so if anyone has any questions on that, it sounds like obviously this front section and, would happen right away. And then some of these other items over time with some of the site improvements, I think they're looking at potentially a multi-tenant use of the building where there may be some additional square footage on the east side of the building on the site plan that you can see. Let's see here. So there's a decent amount of square footage over here.
It's about 5,000 square feet.
Gotcha.
Future tenant space.
Gotcha. So that would be this east end. And so those types of improvements, they were kind of looking to extend out, and as a tenant came in, some of the improvements as far as paving and things like that. So some of those conditions will be discussed at Plan Commission tomorrow. But those are some of the things that we're taking a look at. Is it's a tired building, and they really are showing, I think, some nice improvements, especially to the street frontages and to the side. So it's a pretty visible site. And I think the improvements are welcome as far as also having Sheboygan Glass back into the community as well.
Agreed.
I would echo all those statements, Steve. Thank you. I didn't have a lot of questions on this one. My one question was on the red fins that are called out as metal siding. Just curious what that product is. Is it a narrow product? Are there joints in it, or is the panel just a single piece?
It'd be a single piece panel, single piece metal siding.
And the corner detail, is there a wrap to that? Is it a reveal? What happens at the corner?
At the corner, there'd be a corner post per se of typical metal siding.
And flashing cap over the top of it, is that a
Yes.
separate element or is that integral?
That'd be separate elements.
Same color?
Same color,
Okay,
yes.
so the whole thing blends in as a red fin?
Correct.
No little,
No striping or
okay.
to it, yes.
Kind of models after their logo and things like that.
Yeah, it-
Black or white.
simple, clean, and
This is Mark.
gets your attention.
Matthew's son here too. so-
Hello.
Hello.
My darkness. I was thinking we were last on the agenda. My bad.
You are, yeah. Yeah, we don't mess around.
Guess so.
Any other questions or concerns from the board?
I just didn't know, maybe they could explain, some of the, Steve, maybe like some of the mechanicals on the side of the building, what the thought
Yeah,
was
I
with some of
guess
those.
the elevations that you show are really nice, clean, crisp elevations. That's
yeah.
the
There's a
eventual
lot.
phase. I guess how quickly are things getting cleaned up?
3 small condensers alongside there. There'll be HVAC units inside, and then they'll be screened by landscaping on the side. That's why they kind of show a couple tree plantings along that, so that's just small condensers that will be on the side of the building there. So nothing
which-
hanging off of it.
Sorry, Steve, which side is
Where the,
that?
That's on the
North side.
North side.
So that would be the Crocker,
Yep.
so that would be
Which one is that?
So we
this.
got some mechanical rooms on the inside of the building there.
Which is probably most visible.
Kind of-
Oh, right there, Steve.
Right there.
Yep.
Towards,
Right on the bottom.
This one?
yep.
And then we have the large tree on the corner, which kind of cuts off vision, turning east there, so we're taking that down and doing some other landscaping setback. And for ground cover against the building, because the entrance comes in on the west side right now, that will actually be coming in on the south side. So we'll be able to landscape along the west face and then wrap it around on the north side.
Steve, can you show the photos instead of the?
Sure. This is the east side, so
East
the
side,
rear
right.
of the building. And then this is again, kind of that
So that's-
northeast corner.
5,000 square foot tenant space.
Yep, that would be over here, the future tenant.
Yes, right there in the corner.
Same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
Yep. Pretty much what's white right there, that would be the sectioned off tenant area.
Okay,
And not knowing what that tenant space, that's where the doors are kind of in limbo there.
right.
And also with kind of creating the dock space on the north face also. But there's concrete that's going to be removed, asphalt we're kind of multiple drives. But they just need the parking, that's a larger parking lot for the employees on the north side. And all that brick comes off, and it's a whole new facade.
And that's the tree we were talking about.
Tree on the corner.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see. Missed, I thought I had maybe one. There's some like,
Yeah, it's right.
maybe the next one. But there's quite a bit right on that intersection of
yeah.
Crocker and 32nd. And then it would be right here.
It's amazing how the sun makes it look better.
Yes. Yeah,
not funny.
it was a bad day I was out there.
Yeah. No, I drove by. It's done. Mhm. I move to approve, subject to staff recommendations.
a second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is approved.
All right.
Thank you very much.
See you guys tomorrow.
Good to have you back in town.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, right.
Any other items for discussion?
No.
Otherwise, looks like our next scheduled meeting is May 23rd.
Right.
So 2 weeks.
Yep.
Pam, you still gonna be in the country?
I am, but I won't be here. This is what this retirement thing is doing to my husband.
Nice.
Then I'm here for the summer, the whole
guess-
summer.
If we can watch for that, just with Marcus being no
Gone.
longer a appointed and needing a replacement, we're going to be short of folks.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, you guys are really good at getting back to us, so we appreciate that. If you could continue to do that, we'd really appreciate it, actually. Because we had a couple of people from the church, for example, that were from Minnesota today.
Oh, geez, yeah.
great. All right. And
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Move to adjourn.
we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
When will they replace Marcus, do you think?
I don't know what
Yeah.